is probably the one Senate race where it is more so than Alabama, more so than Louisiana or Arkansas. This is absolutely black-white. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely black-white. It is absolutely an appeal to old Mississippi when you still have the Confederate emblem on that state flag. When you have a state that could not handle a civil rights museum by itself, where you literally have separate but equal, where they said we're going to build a civil rights museum, and then, you know what? No, we're going to have to build another museum right next to it on the history of Mississippi because we really don't want that museum to tell the story of the history of Mississippi. And I was there, and I'm telling y'all, to walk on the grounds and to stand there, and you go, okay, so we got the Civil Rights Museum right here, which is this amazing edifice, and then you go, and basically, here the white folks museum.
Yep.
I mean, that's essentially.
Yep.
That was in the 21st century.
That's right. And this is the difference kind of between Alabama, right? Judge Moore's statements and what he did in terms of young women didn't necessarily help him. The problem is when he was Cindy Hyde-Smith, her statements about race may actually help her with a particular part of the constituency in Mississippi.
Well, I agree. I don't know if it would help her any more than the support she would have now. I think what
you
the
don't
media...
think it'll help her with some white folks?
No, I think what the media has done, again, because, you know, Mississippi is the child that we can always beat up on. So whenever you have an issue...
No, hold on, Malik. Mississippi is the child who always acts up.
Okay, well,
I
disagree with that.
Hold on. As a person, it's very simple. If a child don't act up, you ain't gonna get spanked. But when a child acts up, you're gonna get spanked.
Well, but in this case, Mississippi didn't act up. Cindy Hyde made comments that she should have made. Cindy was first elected to office as a Democrat in 2000. She became I think a Republican in 2010.
Like most Dixiecrats.
So almost 20 years now. The only thing that we have from her is that she took a picture with the Confederate hat in a state that has the Confederate symbol as part of its state flag.
Which is okay.
So the idea that people in Mississippi
That's
would
the only thing we got? We don't have the segregation of school that she went to, and then she sent her daughter to a segregation of school?
Yes.
She sent her daughter to school, had 350 kids, and one of them's black. The city that it's in is over 50% black. School has one black person
but we're
out
still
of
talking about
350.
Mississippi, though.
Yes.
No one in Mississippi is surprised that there was a once segregated school. No one is surprised.
No, hold on. But Malik, you made the point that, well, folks in essence are picking on Mississippi. No, the reality is Mississippi, out of all the 50 states in the Union, still wants to be wedded to Jim Crow.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. We just saw the round table with Trump last night.
Malik,
we had the governor
if you don't want to
state.
be wedded to that, Malik, you wouldn't build two museums.
Well, I mean,
if you don't want to be wedded to that, Malik, you wouldn't have the Confederate emblem on your state flag. And then when you had a referendum, it was passed to keep it 2-1. If you don't have that, you wouldn't have Governor Phil Bryant, a relative of the woman who lied on Emmett Till, make April Confederate.
No, if he's related to her.
Yes, we do.
So we did find out that he's related to them. Because I know there was rumors about that, but we did find out that he was related.
Phil Bryant, Carolyn Bryant.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay,
we did find that out.
All right.
I did not know that we found that out. But to your point.
And wait, I ain't done. Phil Bryant created April as Confederate History Month.
Yeah.
You talking about picking on? Hell, Mississippi says, go ahead, smack me.
Well, yeah, but you can go right over to Arlington Cemetery to see the Confederate memorial sitting there. The Confederate memorial sitting at Arlington Cemetery. We have monuments to people who not fought in the Confederacy, but people who owned slaves.
Malik.
So how far should we go to be offended by
There's a difference between
people who fought in the Confederacy.
No, Malik. Hold up, Malik. There's a difference between folks saying this monument was put up in 1930 or 40 or 50. That's a difference between that and Mississippi saying it's 2018, let's celebrate them. This woman right here tried to get a bill passed to honor a Confederate soldier for fighting for states' rights.
And we can-
She tried to get a section of the highway named after Jefferson Davis, the greatest trader in American history. Bruh, Mississippi in 2018 is still trying to do. Did Mississippi not pass a state law forbidding people from even taking down Confederate monuments on local level?
I'm not familiar with it, but if you say they did.
No,
they did.
my only point is this here. This ain't Mississippi saying, hey, man, y'all reaching back. No, this is Mississippi still living it in 2018.
But despite the Confederate flag, despite the fact that, with Mississippi's history, I'm a product of Mississippi. I grew up in the state with the Confederate flag. I grew up as a Democrat. My family are Democrats. And despite the Confederate flag, here I sit in Washington, D.C., along with Spencer, Monique, Roland, in a place that I'm not supposed to be. The Confederate flag didn't do anything. The Confederate flag did not affect me being here. It had no role in
right,
being
see
here.
right there. Okay, but this is the mistake I think that you make with this when you say somehow the flag didn't keep me from being here. That's just like saying, black people, I don't know why y'all keep talking about inequality of wealth. You got Oprah. No. The point is this here. You have a state that still wants to continue that line of thinking and embracing it and holding on to it. That's what we're talking about here. Donald Trump knew exactly what he was saying last night. Cindy Hyde-Smith knew exactly what she was saying. Let's not act like it was my bad. It was a slight mistake. No,
Right.
we know the game of race and how it is properly used.
I don't agree with that.
And it's not a dog whistle, it's like a megaphone, right? They're just being out and out blatant in terms of these symbols. And it's not all of Mississippi.
But that's how we're playing it.
there is a struggle right now. This election is about a struggle about what will Mississippi be. And what Roland is basically saying is, because she's a viable candidate, it's viable that right now that old Mississippi it could win.
But if Childers had run, this history would be the same. It doesn't matter who the person is. I mean, Mike Espy during this last election, Mike Espy got 91% of the black vote. He got 91% of the black vote. I don't know where else he's getting those votes. Cindy Hyde-Smith got 4% of the black vote.
He got 40% and some change of the total vote. Obviously, the largest numbers came from President Obama in 08 and 12. He got 44%, and then he got 43%. Here, to me, is the point. Whether it's because of Dixiecrats, whether it's because of the Confederate flag, whether it's because of racism, we still have voters right now in Mississippi who are in that struggle. I agree with you, Spencer, but there are traditional Mississippi folks who are not thinking about anything to do with this flag. They are thinking about the things that Republicans have been thinking about. They're thinking about judicial nominees. They're thinking about what's going to happen with funding. They're thinking about the lies and some of the truth that they've been told about what the Senate intends to do to protect them and their interests. And that, to me, is the struggle. So right now, while the polls are still open, people in Mississippi, black folks and white folks who are bothered by racism, go vote, because we need a crossover in order for it to make sense. They were polling people, and the people were saying, we can forgive Cindy her missteps. We can say she's wrong, but we don't want a progressive or a liberal appointed to the Supreme Court. Is this not the failing that we made in thinking it was not going to make a difference between Hillary and Trump? The scream that we should have been making is the one that would have kept Kavanaugh off the bench.
Yeah, but
not the, oh my God, everybody is a racist scream.
Yeah, but that's what
everybody
we run
knows
to.
there's racism.
Yeah, but we
right.
run to
I mean,
that.
I'm not sure you know there's racism.
I do
but
know that.
Everybody else
I do
still
know
knows
that.
that
Of
there's
course I know
racism.
that.
Yeah, but you pointed to yourself like it's pointed the talented nth percent who made it out of Mississippi.
But how is
you
that?
said
I
even
said
though
because the
there's
Confederate flag
wait,
did not. I said because the Confederate flag
it's either
did not
going to be
affect
you
me.
talking or it's going to be me, right?
Well, we're both on the set, so we can talk.
Well, I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Well, if we're talking about the Confederacy, what I said was the fact that the Confederate flag exists did not stop me from getting where I am today. That's
Okay.
a fact.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with me not seeing racism.
And what I'm saying, are you pausing or are you finished?
I'm pausing.
Okay. So in your pause, what I am saying is you being a part of the talented percentage that make it out of oppression, suppression, South, segregation, racism does not mean that it is not still a systemic problem for people who are not as fortunate as you. The fact that that Confederacy and the hate mongering and all of the little Cindy's of the world and their male counterparts who have been suppressing your kinfolk from Mississippi and from all of the greater South where I'm from, that to me only says, yes, it's true. There can be a President Barack Obama. Yes, it's true. There can be a Monique, there can be a Spencer, there can be a Malik, there can be a Roland. What we're trying to do, because I'm from Howard Law School, so I believe in social engineering, is care about more than us. So when you can look at Mississippi and say, there are a whole lot of Maliks that are making it out, then I could hear you.
Well, they
but
are.
You just saying,
You don't know anybody?
The numbers show that there are more in jail than in college.
Can I tell you
the
something?
numbers show
Hold
that
on,
there
hold on, hold
are
on,
more
Malik, then
unemployed.
Spencer.
Yes.
In Mississippi.
In
But I'm saying,
Mississippi.
but you're saying that to say what? Is that
That
the
they're not
Confederate
making it
flag
out.
did that?
Okay,
Brother.
the Confederate flag is a symbol, and I'm not going to let you play games with me like you don't understand it. The Confederate flag is a symbol of a hateful past that is being insisted upon being dragged forward by people in power in Mississippi. It may not be because of the citizens' majority in Mississippi. It is because of the power center of that state. And when you have that president you voted for, who was the first Republican you ever voted for, and I'll never understand it, but I do know it's the first one you voted for.
Right, absolutely.
When that president went down there to vote for that woman, you have to know all he was doing is screaming and bullhorning and whistling to the race baiters who will say, y'all, don't let another colored person in. I mean, he may as well have said it.
Oh, well, I mean, that's
what did he say about Gillum?
I just-
What did he say about Gillum?
I just disagree with you.
He's not suited for it.
Malik
Yeah.
was basically saying there's no effect, there's no problem here.
I
Less
didn't say that.
than
But
a
that's not- that's
thousand.
not what I
Less
said.
than a thousand. Less than.
That's
But we
what
can
you guys
re-roll
do
the
to
tape.
conservatives.
No,
I've
no,
never
hold on
said.
just a
I
second.
did not say that it did not matter. I did not
Hold
say
on,
that
hold
race
on,
didn't
hold
matter
on,
for
hold
you.
on. You
I
said it
that race-
wasn't
I said the Confederate
affecting-
flag.
You said it
I said
wasn't
the Confederate
affecting
flag.
black folks
I'm the only
down
one
there.
who lived under the Confederate flag. So who should it bother? Should it bother anybody else on
we
the
all-
panel?
No,
Man,
you're
we
not the
all
only
live under
one.
this
But
Confederate
who
flag.
do you
Hold
think
on.
you're sitting here with?
Hold on.
You're
from
I'm from
Mississippi?
Texas.
But you're from Mississippi.
Just a second.
Come on.
We pay our federal tax dollars,
Okay.
and your flag hangs in our Congress.
And what does
I
that
go
mean?
overseas to an embassy, a 4th of July event, and there's a Mississippi flag right there.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Independence
We
Day.
live in
It
a city
means
where
I'm paying
we have
my money.
We have
It means
monuments
I'm paying my
erected
federal
to
dollars for a
slave
Confederate
owners,
flag
slave
that comes
owners,
from your
people
state.
who
So it's
raped
not
and
just
hog-tied
people in
black
Mississippi
people
who are
to
affected.
stumps,
I'm affected as
left
well.
them to die. That's what we have here in the District of Columbia. We have monuments elected to people who raped. Who raped
and that's
my
wrong too.
ancestors.
Now what?
It's the blackest state.
That's
But
wrong.
to say
Now
that,
what?
oh, well, look at Mississippi.
Look,
Mississippi
it's
is the problem.
it's the
We're just
blackest
talking about
state.
Mississippi right
up
now
there.
because they're the ones with the election, Malik.
Yeah,
You've been
but-
on here enough times to know we
Yeah.
don't only talk about Mississippi.
But that's what I'm
Malik,
defending
Malik,
Mississippi
Malik,
against
Malik,
assumptions made about
Malik.
the state that I just don't think are
It's
true.
the blackest state.
Okay.
But less than 1,000 black males graduated from college last year in Mississippi. I think that's a problem. And I don't think it's a problem about black folks, or I don't think it's saying anything about black males. I think it's saying something about Mississippi.
Have you paid attention to what's happening in the District of Columbia? Do you know that in Ward 8 of D.C., I think it was less than 50% of them graduate on time?
Okay.
This is happening
So
in D.C.
that's
So it
another
happens
problem.
everywhere.
That's
it
another
happens
problem.
everywhere. It's
But
not
that doesn't
isolated.
mean that Mississippi
poor
isn't a
education,
problem.
poorly educating black boys is not a problem that's isolated to Mississippi.
I will see your District Columbia and add to it an Ohio. I'll see your Ohio and add to it Chicago.
Yeah.
Because I know Republicans love Chicago, so let me do it before you. I'll see your Chicago and we can add to it. There are problems.
Yeah.
We're talking about
I acknowledge
Mississippi,
that.
though, and there's no reason to say that there's not a construct, a social construct of colorism that is still alive and well in your home
In the
state.
country.
It's in the country. It's very much alive in your
We're
home
talking
state.
about colorism. That's in the country because we know
since-
Barack Obama wouldn't have been president had he married Melania Trump.
And so we sense. First of all, don't even try to compare.
I mean, well, he wouldn't. We know that.
But don't even try to. See, you about to make me say something.
Right. Let's just
You about to
stay
really
on
make
track.
me say
It's
something.
not Melania's fault.
I don't think you wouldn't want me to say that. I'm just saying. You ain't, because we ain't seen Michelle Obama pose. That's all I'm saying. But they sure as hell complain about her damn arms.
Yes, I know black women
when you talk
did
about
too.
Republicans, too. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.